So we're talking about winter, okay? Generally in over the winter period, runners tend to not run quite as much. There's not quite so many events going on, so people generally aren't training for things, okay? So the intensity and focus of running tends to reduce slightly, and I see that as a great opportunity to do other things. So the three things, you can go after this slide, but the three things are, okay, we're giving the answers at the start here. The first thing we're going to talk through is identifying your goals, because any training, supplementary training you're doing, there needs to be a good purpose to it. So identify your goals, deal with previous injury shadows, we call it, so things that you've had in the past. So hopefully they don't cause future issues. And then this word targeted. So strength development, you know, hands up if you didn't know that getting strong is good for you as a runner. You know, everybody knows this, but I think being sorry. But yeah. Everybody apart from one person. No, most people know that strength is good for us, but you don't want to be doing loads of stuff. You know, it's not really what you enjoy running. So we want this word targeted if you're going to do some strength work. Okay. So we want to know about the why. So, okay, so this is the number one. This is the goal setting bit. All right. So you want to think about what is it you're looking to achieve, and it doesn't need to be a big ambitious thing. It might just be I want to continue running. I enjoy it. You know. So it doesn't need to be a huge target, but you've got to think about your why, and that will help you to focus on doing some of the things that would help you achieve those things. Okay. So often people aren't doing this stuff we've found because the motivation isn't quite there. The focus is on the short-term enjoyment. You enjoy going for a run. You don't enjoy doing strength work, generally, you know. And the plan's not realistic. So you may start 1st of January, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this and this. And then it lasts for a few weeks and then it drops off. So right from the onset, any plans that you start to think of, you want to make sure that they are quite realistic. Okay. Oh, by the way, normally we'd move around a bit more, but we're being filmed, so we're trapped here.
Yeah, just trying to stay stationary.
So we are a little bit trapped. So apologies for that. So the goal setting, you want to be realistic and achievable with a plan. What's the real reason? Okay, this bit is key, and we try, if we're working with somebody on a one-to-one, we try to get down to the real reason why they want to be able to achieve the things they do. All right. And you can think about this yourself, but you think about, I don't know, why is it that you run? Is it to help with your mental health? Have you had a bad experience in the past that you want to avoid? Is there a family member that's had a heart problem in the past that you're thinking, well, I don't want that to be me. I want to stay fit and younger. And if you can go as deep as you can. Keep asking yourself, yeah, but why? Yeah, but why? The deeper you can get, that becomes a real solid reason for you then doing other things as supplementary things. Okay, so I don't expect you to share your own reasons tonight, but it's a really good thing to reflect on. And if you just think, I don't know, I want to run a half marathon because I've never done one before, there will be a deeper reason than that. That's a superficial. So the lower down you can go, the deeper you can go, the more solid your reasonings are. Okay. And the other thing is try to attach an emotion to it. Okay. So rather than just being factual, I want to run a half marathon. If you were to run a half marathon, how would that then make you feel? Okay. What's the emotional attached to the achievement of that goal? Okay. Okay.
Do you want me to hand out the sheets?
Yeah, we can give out the sheets. Yeah, thank you. By the way, start of the week, the estimate I had was 3 people for this talk, so I didn't print out enough of these sheets. Jim, thankfully, has bailed me out, so thank you very much. But you've got these sheets that you can write on later. But I would like you to start thinking about this first bit, because then the rest of the evening will sort of be tagged to something a little bit more solid. Okay. So if you think of the 1st of February, it doesn't have to be, but that sort of timescale is about right usually for goal setting. If you can think it's the 1st of February of next year, and I'm grateful because this might be a short-term goal. So your goal might be achieving a marathon later on in the year, but by February, you may have a stepping stone goal that helps you achieve the bigger goal. Okay? So these are, so you can run with confidence, join pain-free for the first time in 12 months, etc., etc. So there's lots of different things. I don't want to give you too many suggestions because the more personal this can be, the better. All right. If you have any particular things you would like to discuss with any of the three of us, then please let us know. Okay. But don't skip on that first bit. Give it some thought. Then the rest of it is likely to actually happen. All right. The biggest predictor of injury is previous injury. Okay. And generally what happens is, so if you're coming to us for a consultation, we will ask about your injury history. It may not seem relevant straight away, but often it is. So one thing leads to another, or the same again. So for example, I don't think I've got the example, no. So for example, if you've had a calf strain, so a calf strain that seems to be a bit better, but maybe the strength hasn't quite returned, but it's okay. So if you're down on strength on one calf, with the biomechanics, one way that could manifest itself is with a hip flexor soreness and overuse. So when you're running, if you're not pushing through with your calf enough to flick your leg forwards, you may need to pull your leg forwards using a different muscle. So you're overloading a different part of your body because of a previous injury and a previous weakness. Does that sort of make sense as just one example? Yeah, there are loads, and this is, we love all this stuff, but the biomechanics of how one thing has ripple effect to then potentially have other effects in your body is fascinating. It's brilliant. But the message is really, I suppose, in this is make sure you deal with that previous stuff because it tends to show itself or it leads to other problems. And pain gets better with rest, dysfunctions don't. So if you've had a grumbling Achilles tendon for the most of this year as you're running, if you're going to run a bit less over the winter, it's going to feel better. The pain's going to get better. The dysfunction won't. It's very likely when you start increasing your mileage next year that problem's going to show itself, or maybe another problem. All right, so we feel like, oh yeah, that's gone. Oh yeah, it feels okay now. Usually it hasn't. Okay. So the idea is to use your time of reduced running to address the niggles that you have. And often you can do the perfect rehab, whereas if it's in season and we're managing you trying to help you to achieve certain maybe races or various other achievements, often the rehab is there is a compromise. Whereas if it's through the winter, often it's just great. This is what you need to do. Brilliant. You crack on with it and it's not interfering with the rest of the training. So it tends to be a bit more efficient as well. Okay. Is that it? Yeah.
That's
So
me.
to you, Joe.
So like Keith mentioned earlier about strength training, we bang on about strength training, but it's like, why? And the research into it is the main reason why. So like this first study is saying that it actually helps you improve your running economy and your VO2 max, two key things for runners to be high and compete at a high level, do the best they can. That's a bit of research into why to do strength training. Alongside for long distance runners, so if you're looking for your half, your full marathons, it's showing that strength training actually has a great effect on your performance for the actual races and events coming up. So we're going to be doing some testing today. The importance of the testing, we want to get across first because we're going to make you do this stuff, but it's like, why am I doing this? It allows you to identify where you're strong at, but also your weaknesses as well. So you can see, and it's being specific to each side of the body. So if your right quad is strong, your left one's weak, we can identify through testing now and then test it throughout the season to see if there's been a compromise or you're doing too much. And this refers back to what Keith was mentioning earlier about the calf and the hip flexor. The hip flexor might be really strong, but the injury is coming from the weak calf. So it's about balancing, making sure you're performing right and to your best. There's many ways to test. Tonight we're doing Kinvent, the gold standard. We'll go through that in a second. But for you guys at home, you can do so maximum reps per muscle group. Also RPE, so rate of perceived exertion. There's a ways of testing yourself to see what area of the body is the strongest, is the weakest, what's my area to focus, what areas don't I need to focus on. Because when it gets into season and into season running, you probably won't have as much time to do the strength training as we've mentioned before. So it's really soloing down on what areas do I need to focus on specifically. So it could be just your right calf, and then just training for the right calf. And that's what the testing will allow you to do throughout the season. Talked about it, RPE, rate of perceived exertion. So this is defined as how hard the body's working. So the scale is 0 to 10, 0 being like this is just waking up in the morning feeling good, no drama at all. 10 being the hardest thing you could ever imagine. So for me, running is probably on a 9 or 10 out of 10 scale, but it's just when you're doing the exercises, think about how hard is this muscle group working? Is it fatiguing quicker? Is it feeling sorer? Can I do less height now? And then that's how you'd see how hard you are working for that exercise. And as I said, it's important noticing the imbalances between each side. Kinvent testing, this is our gold standard. This is what we do and what we're doing tonight. This is an example of the seated leg extension, but unfortunately, due to not having the bed for that anchor point, we're not going to be able to do that tonight, unfortunately. But this is how we do it for the quads. This is an example of the data we'd get. So as you can see from this client we had, the right side's so much stronger than the left. 18% difference. For a runner, that is a massive for how much you are running. That 18% adds up, and that's what could be indicting a injury down the line. So this testing and this data will allow us to see true details of difference in between each side. And the testing time, as Keith said, optional, very optional. We're going to be going through tonight. So I'm going to be doing everything with the plates, the Kinvent. So we're going to do a CMJ, counter movement jump, and your balance. So finding true balance. I see some worried faces when I said that, but finding your true balance scores. And then Keith, you're going to be doing the body weighted exercises, and Aidan's going to be doing the hop test. So we get all this information, and the sheet we gave you earlier has the test we're going to do today. So you can write down how it was done today and how you performed. And the main message from us for your goals is sticking this on the fridge somewhere you can see it, so then you can refer back to this into the season, mid-season, and then do the same tests from yourself with the RPE measurements or through ourselves. You can see how you actually are doing throughout the season and how you're going to perform, basically. And this is just the covering stuff, the liability stuff.
This is the disclaimer.
Yeah, I'll let you cover that because you're the man of the business, so I'll let you.
Yeah, not at all. So part of the reason we're doing a test, so one of them is just doing calf raises. So it's body weight calf raises. It's how many you can do. So it's generally pretty safe. The other, like Joe says, there's different ways to do strength testing. One is the maximal exertion. So it's like your maximal test. We're steering away from that. So you're going to see how many you can do rather than how heavy you can lift. So it is generally safe, but it's not without risk. And if you're going to do it tonight, you're taking on the responsibility. Okay, so it is up to you whether you do it. It is entirely optional.
That's on recording as well, so no one can come back to it.
That's it. Yeah, we've definitely said it. Okay. You'll want to make sure you've got control while you're doing the test. So I won't be able to check and help everybody. But if you're doing a test and you feel really wobbly or you're losing control, that's the time to stop. Write down how many you have done. Stop if obviously if you feel pain. And looking, so you're going to stop if you get to 25. So if you achieve 25 of it, like the calf raise exercise, if you can do 25 on one leg, you do 25 on the other leg, that score is the same. The rate of perceived exertion comes in. You may achieve 25 on the right, but find it really easy. On the left, you found it really hard. So your effort level will be different. So that score will be different. So it's both things. It's with how many you can do and how you felt it. All right.
The only last thing I've got to say is taking all after the testing is identifying that muscle group that you need to work on. And if you want to go through any exercises, you can chat to us throughout, being like, what can I do specifically for this area? We can give some good examples for them as well.
Cool. Okay. The whole point of this is being efficient. All right. You might pass today flying colours, and we say, well, you can do a bit of strength testing if you want. Strength work if you want to, but you're looking good. But we may find that one of you's got a massive asymmetry. As runners, you should be symmetrical. Your right leg should work the same as your left leg. Do you know what I mean? Racket sports is different. You will have an asymmetry as a racket sports player, but runners, you should be the same. So that's what we're going to explore tonight. All right.
Right.
Are there any questions about the testing? About what we're about to do? Any questions?
Happy days.
Fantastic. Let's crack
Well,
on.
yeah.
Right. So if
Start the
somebody,
recording.
at least one person wants to come with Joe